What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt Deville with the Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Dillian the Body Snatcher Whyte. Anthony Joshua, get this. Reports state that Dillian Whyte has signed an agreement for a planned August 12th rematch versus Anthony Joshua. Dillian Whyte is prepared to run it back with Anthony Joshua. Sky Sports has reported that the former title challenger has signed in return the latest agreement for a planned August 12th rematch at the O2 Arena in London. The development comes days after promoter Eddie Hearn has removed the rematch clause favoring Joshua, which previously discouraged Joshua from moving forward with the bout, or Dillian Whyte from moving forward with the bout, typo. Matchroom Boxing representatives did not immediately respond to an inquiry from Boxing Scene seeking comment or confirmation. Should the fight get finalized, it will come nearly 8 years after the first meeting, which was also held at the O2. And Joshua, which is 25-3-22, won a via 7th round knockout when both were unbeaten rising heavyweights. Watford's Joshua, 2012 Olympic gold medalist from Great Britain and rising contender at the game, won his first major title. One fight later, a second-round knockout of unbeaten heavyweight titleist Charles Martin in their 2016, and we just showed him have a great account of himself of the up-and-coming young bull, Jared Anderson. Now, Joshua went on to make six successful defenses and emerged as the UK's biggest draw before June 19 being stopped by Andy Ruiz. And let me counterpunch. Does this mean the fight's going to happen? No. Why? Because I think when you have options, when you're the A side, you can pretty much do what you want to. So everything is really up to this discretion of AJ and Eddie. You know, they might have everything that they want from another guy that is, I wouldn't gonna say less dangerous, but just from another overall challenger that gives them less problems with less demands, right? Because all these A-side guys, all these money guys, they always have a rematch contract. But you have to really look at the eagerness of Anthony Joshua, you know, because he's doing something that a lot of fighters and promoter Eddie Hearn would never agree to do, you know, is to fight Dillian Whyte without a rematch clause. Because what happens, what if he gets chinned? What if he gets Andy Ruized against Dillian Whyte? Okay? And he's out cold. Dillian Whyte now goes into the fight and the negotiations with Deontay Wilder. But you know what? Stranger things have happened. And I predict if Dillian Whyte beats Anthony Joshua, wait for Deontay Wilder to start with all of the I don't want to fight Dillian Whyte. That story will start up all over again. I don't want the peasant, I want Joshua. Maybe the money might change. Oh well, who cares? Right? But, you know, that's what's standing in the way of the Deontay and AJ fight is possible guys like Dillian Whyte. And looking at Dillian Whyte beat Jermaine Franklin. He went 12 rounds with Jermaine Franklin. He was knocked out by Tyson Fury. And I think that Dillian Whyte, once upon a time, was a very dangerous opponent. But as of now, this is no more than a grudge match. Now, what does this mean? This, to me, is somewhat of like a Manny Pacquiao, Juan Manuel Marquez, right? It's because these guys have history. These guys, styles make fights. No other fight matters besides these guys fighting. That's what makes it intriguing, because we'll see what these guys have learned, who has really deteriorated the most. Let's just be real. Who wants it the most? You know, how will this fight go? Will it go like a near riot like we've seen in the first fight? Will it go in an explosive knockout like the first fight? You know, how will this fight really go? But I think either way it will be exciting, because at least Anthony Joshua was not fighting Dillian Whyte in replace of Deontay Wilder. That would have been terrible. He's fighting Dillian Whyte and Deontay Wilder. Okay, so that pretty much raises his stake without the rematch clause. Just shows you how this guy is far from wanting to retire or lost it or whatever. You know what I mean? So I think he's still eager to get back in there. I think he believes in his team now, the team that he chose. And if the fight happens, I don't think people will get him stick if the Deontay Wilder fight happens. If it doesn't happen, people will look at that Dillian Whyte fight as a damn replacement. Okay? And everything will go to shit for as far as the heavyweight division this year, because the fight we're looking for and the fight that's looks like it's coming to us is the Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua showdown. So, this fight could, it could mean everything, because these are the most dangerous fights. These fights right before the big one. Okay, so, everybody will be looking at the edge of their seats, sofas, beds, biting their nails to see what happens in a fight like this, regardless of who AJ fights, but especially Dillian Whyte, because Dillian Whyte is just like Charles Martin last week, with nothing to lose. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Dillian Whyte signing that contract after the rematch clause has been snatched away from the whole fight negotiations. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!